Get off the property. You're in a secured area.
Okay, is this a restricted area?
Yes, you need to leave.
Does it say no trespassing, or does it say authorized personnel only, sir?
Yes, it does.
Where does it say that?
Go.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
It says right on the sign.
Where? And it doesn't say authorized personnel. If it said that, then I couldn't obviously go inside, but I can, and you're just choosing to be some type of tough dude and try to stop me just because you feel like you want to. But, I mean, if I find an opening and I go in, I have a right to do it. I shouldn't have to submit any information.
Do you have a right to go down to the Pentagon and walk around and do whatever you want?
That's totally different.
Wow, is it? It's a secure facility.
That's totally different. If it says no trespassing, but you guys didn't put any postages that say no trespassing.
Welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, if you enjoy our content, please do consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and interacting with us in the comments below. It really does help us out a lot in the YouTube algorithm. I make these videos in conjunction with having a full-time job and family obligations, so I really depend on you all to provide me with the videos that you want me to analyze. If you have encounters or situations that you'd like me to evaluate, send them my way. This is truly a huge help. A subscriber did submit this video for my analysis, and my analysis may not be what a lot of you are hoping for. While it should be pretty obvious that I have an anti-authoritarian bent, I also want to be fair and make sure that I don't lead anyone down the wrong path that could ultimately lead to them being arrested. In this video, Liberty Guy is conducting a First Amendment audit at a maintenance building for the Frederick County, Maryland Sheriff's Department. He starts by filming in a publicly accessible parking lot and is confronted after he views this sign and maneuvers past the guard bar.
I think that's... So I'm documenting right now. Let's see, I think I can come in. Reach in.
You need to get off the property. You're in a secured area.
Okay, is this a restricted area?
Yes, you need to leave.
Does it say no trespassing, or does it say authorized personnel only, sir?
Yes, it does.
Where does it say that?
Go.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
It says right on the sign.
Where? Because it didn't say that when I recorded it, so...
You need to go. Get.
Hey, don't be touching me, brother.
Leave.
Don't touch me. I want your supervisor. Who are you? I don't even know who you are.
I want you to leave.
I don't even know who you are, sir.
Get off the property.
I don't have to.
There's a sign right there.
I don't have to get off the property. I know my rights.
Go.
Don't touch me. Do not touch me. If you do, you're gonna have some consequential things happening to you.
Sign right there.
Where does it say no trespassing or authorized personnel only?
You're on our property. Leave.
Where does it say no trespassing or authorized? Where?
Right here.
It doesn't say that.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say no trespassing. I don't have to. This is a publicly funded building, sir.
Yeah,
I have a First Amendment right. I'm participating in a constitutionally protected activity. I don't have to go anywhere.
You don't have my permission to record.
I don't need your permission. I have a First Amendment right.
Yes.
Are you aware of the Constitution? Are you a police officer?
You need to go.
You did not identify yourself. Who are you?
You need to go.
What's your name?
You need to go.
What's your name, sir? Answer the question. What's your name?
Stop.
What's your name?
Stop where you are.
I don't have to stop.
There are several issues in play right now. First, does the sign adequately convey the message to a reasonable person that they are not allowed to pass the guard bars? The state of Maryland defines the act of trespassing in Section 6-402A. A person may not enter or trespass on property that is posted conspicuously against trespass by signs placed where they reasonably may be seen, or paint marks that conform with regulations the Department of Natural Resources adopts, are made on trees or posts that are located at each road entrance to the property and adjacent to public roadways, public waterways, and other land adjoining the property. The statute does not state that the signs must have no trespassing, do not enter, or authorized personnel only. There are no magic words that make a sign effective against trespassers. In Hibbard v. State, the Maryland Court of Appeals evaluated a case where an individual was arrested for trespassing when he ignored signs that said no swimming, and he entered someone else's property. The trespass statute requires only that the signs indicating a prohibition against trespassing be posted where they may reasonably be seen. Contrary to appellant's suggestion, there is nothing in the statute or Code of Maryland regulations to which appellant cites establishing size, color, or wording requirements for signs. The court goes on to say that appellant's arguments that no swimming does not mean the same thing as no trespassing is without merit. As we have held, conspicuously posted signs indicating that the presence of unauthorized persons is prescribed satisfies the statute. The use of precise wording, no trespassing or trespassers forbidden, is not mandated. It is enough if the message on the posted signs warns against trespassing, irrespective of the wording employed. So the sign merely needs to be conspicuously posted and convey a message that a reasonable person would understand to mean that they could not pass. This sign states, "Attention, all visitors without a pass card must sign in at the front desk prior to entering this gate." That's pretty clear. A reasonable person would read this sign to mean that they cannot pass the gate without a pass card and without signing in at the front desk. If the auditor's argument is that the sign is unclear and does not adequately warn a reasonable person they're not allowed to enter, he would absolutely lose that argument in court. This sign is sufficient to warn as a no trespass notice. Obviously, we have discussed the right to film in public and lack of reasonable expectation of privacy before. This maintenance guy does not have to consent to be filmed. They are now in a public place and he's able to be viewed, recorded, and filmed in public and has no reasonable expectation of privacy. The last issue is one that the auditor brings up more with other officers later on in the encounter, which is, does he have the right to ignore the sign and enter the gate because it is a government facility and funded by taxpayer dollars? We'll address this later on in the video.
I need you to step on the other side of the gate for me, okay?
Oh, I know. Well, I was actually trying to conductively talk to him, sir, and he...
Okay, let's step outside the gate.
Okay, well, hold on. I have a right to be here.
Not inside the restricted area.
It's not restricted. It doesn't say restricted area.
Okay, what can I help you with?
It doesn't say that, so I know that
okay,
that's not true. Okay. Well, right now. I don't need any help. What I want to do is peacefully exercise my rights and record the area.
For what purpose?
Because I'm gathering content as an independent journalist.
Okay. Well, our first sergeant will be down in a minute. He'll have a discussion with you about it.
Yeah, he can, but I know I have the right to be there.
Okay, but at this time, you're not going to go into the...
I'm not going to go in?
No, you're not going to.
Are you sure? Because I already did go in. So.
Okay, yeah, and that's why I'm out here talking to you. Because you're
so why can't I go in?
Because that's an area that you're not allowed to go in. That's why.
It does not say no trespassing or restricted area.
I'm explaining to you right now, though.
So what's going to happen if I go back in?
You're not going to go back in.
What's going to happen if I do?
You're not going to. I'm telling you, you're not going to.
Why won't I?
Because I'm not going to allow that to happen.
So what is going to happen? You're not answering the question. Am I going to be...
You try and force yourself past me?
Am I? No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay,
Look, I'm not here...
You're not going in, so we don't have to have that discussion.
So you're violating my rights.
In what way?
Because you're not letting me film.
Because you're not being allowed to...
I know what you're doing. This game is not going to work. This game's not going to work, buddy.
So do you think that you should have any access to any part of the building that you want as well?
Well, absolutely, because I pay for the tax funds, actually. And you actually... What's your name and badge number, sir?
5549.
This officer has not told him that he cannot film from the publicly accessible area. The auditor is allowed to film from where he is standing, and the officer is taking exception to him moving behind the guard bar that does have a sign that, in my opinion, clearly makes the area restricted. The auditor even concedes he's not allowed to enter areas that have restricted area signs, but as we discussed before, signs do not have to have certain words to make them legally effective. Then he flips to the argument that he has the right to have unfettered access within the facility simply because it's government property. This is also an uninformed and inaccurate opinion. He has the right to film anything he can see from publicly accessible areas. We've discussed multiple times before on this channel the public forum doctrine that allows government actors to restrict certain rights on government property within reasonable time, place, manner restrictions. This doctrine has evolved from the 1930s in Hague versus Committee for Industrial Organization through the 70s with Southeastern Promotions versus Comrade and Greer versus Spock, with one of the most recent cases being Walker versus Sons of Confederate Veterans. All of this to say, the case law is pretty clear. The government has the right to restrict access to non-public forums. These areas would include prisons, jails, schools, the Pentagon, and even sheriff's departments' maintenance facilities. The governmental entity would only require a rational basis for restricting rights on this property. This is an extremely low burden to meet, and they would meet this in this instance.
As a civilian, sir, you're not letting me record the vehicles.
You can record any vehicles you want. You're just not entering the facility in parts that you're not allowed to enter.
And that's a violation.
Okay, so
because
you think that any part of this building you should be allowed to enter?
as long as it doesn't say restricted area or it says authorized personnel only. There's no signs or postages that say that. So right now you're violating my rights. And I could document that to the State Department as well for what you're doing. So what's going to happen if I go in? What are you going to do?
I've already told you that you're not going.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but if I go in, what's going to happen?
Would you like to see the sign or something?
It does not say no trespassing or authorized personnel only.
Well, would you like to sign it front desk and see if you want to go back there?
Well, that's what I have an issue with, because that's a violation of the rights that I have, sir. Because, you know, as a civilian, I have a right to see how you guys are treating the vehicles that we have, and I have a right to record that. I don't have to sign in at the front.
Okay.
It's
but
not
you see,
private.
this is a secure environment. It's currently fenced in, and it has access gates. It can only
But what
be
does it
accessed
say,
by
though?
people
Does it
with-
say authorized personnel
It says
only or
all
no
visitors
trespassing?
must have a pass card and must sign in at the front desk.
So your
You
issue
see
is
that,
with the
correct?
Well, that's not a law, though.
But
Is
do
that a
you see that,
policy?
sir?
Is that a policy or is that a law?
That is the policy.
Okay,
sir.
so it's not a law.
Okay,
so
but you're still trespassing because you
No, I'm
clearly
not.
see that this is posted.
Trespassing is unlawfully remaining into a premises
No, you entered
conductively
the premise that
in the
was
state of
clearly secured,
Maryland
sir.
under section 402. Okay, it states that unless I'm there unlawfully, whether it be loitering or doing something that's unlawful or remaining in a privately owned area, then I'm trespassing. But you can't play that game with me. It's not trespassing.
Again, the auditor misquotes the law. He had the right code number, but it states that a person may not enter or trespass on property that is posted conspicuously against trespass. This sign has been posted very clearly. The argument that it is a policy and it does not trump his rights to film also does not hold water in this instance. The auditor has already admitted that if the sign said no trespassing or authorized personnel only, he would not be allowed to enter. So wouldn't that be a policy too? The issue is, the Supreme Court has held multiple times that the government is able to restrict rights/access to government facilities in certain circumstances. A sheriff department's maintenance facility is not a traditional public forum. This circular conversation continues for quite a while until the officers leave, and then the auditor walks past the gate.
So what's going to happen if I walk in? All right, I'm walking in. I'm right here. I'm right here, buddy. Exactly. 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 Violating my rights, man. Not cool at all.
Secure area. You are not allowed inside of that gate. You need to check in with the front office.
That's not true. I know my First Amendment, sir. That's not true. It's a policy. It's not a law. It's a policy. Don't give me that. Oh, now here they go. And I'm not blocking anybody either.
But you're also inside of a secure environment, sir.
Don't touch me, please.
Our policy
Don't
is
touch
you
me.
must check in with the
Why
front
are
desk.
you gonna say why not touch you? I just walked over here to
Don't
find out
touch
why
me,
you were
please.
in on our property.
Please do not touch me.
I'm not touching you.
We're giving you an access to leave, sir.
This is my First Amendment right. Why are you guys violating
First Amendment
that?
right is
First
freedom of
Amendment right can be-
speech.
And
Not to
freedom
go
of
wherever
press
you
and
want.
freedom of assembly.
Go out here real quick. The press ain't allowed
There's
back
no
here.
assembly here, sir.
This is a publicly funded building. Wait, what? Like, did you guys forget about that?
Have you not read the signs that posted?
Yeah,
saying
but
you can't
it's a
come back
policy,
here?
though. It's not a
No,
law,
it's not.
though.
Walk out
It's
here
a
real quick.
policy.
I don't understand what.
I don't want you touching me, so
not
I'm
gonna
taking a
touch you.
step
I'm trying
back.
not to get stung.
But I'm just trying to get you guys, like, to understand. This is not... I have a right to do this.
If you want to stand over in the grass, we told you you're more than help yourself, knock yourself out all day.
You can't violate anyone that wants to walk in and investigate as civilians to record.
Well, sir, there's an avenue for you to do that. You can send a request to the sheriff's office, and we can give you whatever.
But I shouldn't have to do that if you guys know I have a right.
Sir, you shouldn't have to do that.
I shouldn't have to submit any information.
Do you have a right to go down to the Pentagon and walk around and do whatever you want?
That's totally different.
Wow, is it? It's a secure
That's
facility.
totally different. If it says no trespassing, but you guys didn't put any postages that say no trespassing, and it doesn't say authorized personnel only.
Again, the auditor is relying on the signage argument. This is a bad argument. It is incorrect, and I'm shocked right now that he hasn't been arrested. How is the Pentagon different than a sheriff department's maintenance facility? Government property is government property. They're subject to the same rules and regulations. He's extremely fortunate that he has not been arrested for trespassing at this point.
All right. So in talking with the state's attorney's office, here's the answer for you.
Okay, what's the answer?
With this being a restricted area.
It doesn't say that, sir.
I understand, but I'm telling you that it is because we store evidence back here and other things that is not for the public eye to see. Because this is a restricted area, we are going to ask you to step outside the restricted area. If you want to stand on that grass, have at it.
Okay.
But inside this restricted area, you cannot be here, and if you continue to stay inside the restricted area, we will escort you out and trespass you from the restricted area. If you come back inside the restricted area, you will be arrested for being in here in this.
Okay, so you're saying I will be under arrest?
If you stay in this restricted area.
What's your name? Sergeant Britt? Okay, so that's a full violation of my rights, and I'm probably going to be following. I'm going to be following through with this.
Okay.
Because now you opened up
I'm going
something
to give you right now
suitably.
A lawful order to step out of the restricted area that you're in right now.
And if I don't step out, I will be under arrest?
Okay, that's the last thing I want to do. The last thing I want to do.
That's a violation of my rights, but I'm only doing that because you told me there's threat of arrest, but that's a violation of my rights, so I'm going to be following through with legal action for that.
Okay. I appreciate you stepping back behind the outside the restricted area.
No, I don't respect that. I don't respect it. Have a great day, guys.
Cooperating with me.
I don't respect that at all.
The state's attorney is correct. I'm shocked that these officers did not arrest him, and I'm glad that they didn't. He wasn't really doing any harm, and it's more of an ignorance issue than malice. However, auditors need to learn the law before they conduct audits like this. The statute and case law are very clear about the signage requirements. This sign makes it clear to reasonable people that you cannot enter. When you conduct audits, be consistent, be informed, and be reasonable. I know some of you may think I'm being harsh on this auditor, but I do not want to see him or anyone else get arrested because they did not do their homework or because they have a lack of knowledge when it comes to the law. What do you think? Was the auditor reasonable in believing that the sign did not deny him access beyond the gates? Do you believe he has a right to access and film anything that's paid for by taxpayer dollars? Maybe you disagree with me. Am I wrong in my interpretation of the law? Let me know in the comments below. But remember that no matter who you are, you have value and you have rights. Do not be afraid to use them, and we'll see you next time right here on Legal Dissent.